Where the vast fields and the dark blue sky blurred with the fog of the morning met the lush green rice fields, glistening with the tender drops of light rain, the fresh morning breath was inhaled and exhaled by a man. The sun had only started to rise, one of the best days in the morning. The cool breeze intertwining and passing through his soft hair and his cheeks, which showed a slight tint of pink. It was definitely in contrast with the polluted air of the city and calm, unlike the mornings in his place, where roads and parks were filled with people who were doing their morning walks. This was calm, isolated, and a perfect escape for anyone who is tired of the hustle culture. As he was enjoying the view, filling his eyes and heart with a soft red ball of energy peeking through the published sky, which was slowly turning red and yellow, he was distracted by a sound. Ew, what is this? Cow poop? The man looked behind him to see the peace pauper, his very young 25-year-old son Jungkook shaking and dragging his legs on the grass, looking like a madman. What the hell are you doing? Stop looking at the sun and help your son. Where have you brought me? So dirty. This is a village. It is perfect place to understand the real raw people who work to their bones. Jungkook scoffed. Let's go back. This place looks like one of those zombie movie sets. The man in his 50s sighed as the father-son duo drove down the tarred road, flanked by green plain land with one or two houses occasionally. It was definitely a place to behold. There were some people in the morning who had started grazing the cattle. Jungkook's father looked to his side to see his son looking out of the window with a disgusted face. He occasionally checked on him as his actions looked fascinating and out of place, and also because the road was empty. Jungkook took out his photo and quickly clicked a picture through the window. Quickly looking back to the screen, he mumbled things. Hashtag village. Hashtag being productive. Hashtag feeling the nature. Hashtag healthy life. Hashtag I stepped on cow poop. What the hell are you up to now? Dad, I'm posting these pictures on Instagram. Why? There has to be some proof that I was here. Who are you proving this to? Of course, my friends and followers. His dad sighed. He was worried about his 25-year-old boy. He didn't have the confidence to put him in the CEO position of his company, and nor did he think that his son was capable by skills to take care of a woman or start a family. This grown-up kid was moving his to all sorts of songs and posting it on the internet. Apart from that, he had friends that Mr. John didn't trust. Dad, seriously, when are we getting out of this place? I shouldn't have agreed to accompany you. He sighed. Jungkook's face frowned as he noticed the car slowing down and moving to the side of the road. What happened? Why is the car slowing down? Because I slowed it. His dad answered as he stopped the car. Jungkook looked at his dad, irritated. Did you find another farm? No. I want you to get out of the car. What? You heard me. Get out of the car. He gestured. Dad. You cannot make me get out of our car. He smirked. If I'm your dad, I can make you get out of my car and cut your allowances and take back the black card. You won't, he whispered in disbelief. I will count to 3. If you don't get out of the car, the results will be so bad that you would wish. Wish? Wish that you had listened, he answered. So you are going to leave me in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, come back when you can. Jungkook sighed as he unbuckled the seatbelt. Opening the door, he looked back at his dad one last time. You have time to stop me, old man. What if the villagers tie me and make me the bait for the local gods? You won't have a hair to manage the company. I will be thankful to the villagers then. About the company, your sister will manage it. I can't believe this, he exclaimed and got out of the car. As soon as he slammed the door closed, his father raised the engine and drove away to the distant roads of the countryside. Jungkook looked around. Just the seamless horizon came to his vision. Now that I'm here, I might as well take some good quality pictures. He took out his phone just to see that he ran out of battery. And this had to die like right now. He whined as he hit his leg on the ground. At a distance, his eyes found what looked like a shop. They might have a charger there. His feet dragged him to the shop. Opening the door, he went inside to find no one. Is there anybody here? He called out. What kind of shop is this? No people? Is it like self-service? He looked around and saw a board stuck. Keep the money here was written on it with an arrow showing a box. What the hell? How will I get a charger? He looked around and found nothing useful. Coming out of the shop, he walked towards the place his dad's car drove to. As he walked slowly with his tired legs, which were not boosted by his daily dose of protein shake, he came across a group of cows. Holy cow, how will I go across this group? He found a shortcut that went around the herd of cows. Good thing that I can go across the main road. As he walked ahead, he saw someone in the grassland. Something that looked like a girl. A girl in the middle of nowhere. His brain lit up. There is my charger. He ran, gathering up his last ounce of energy. Hey girl, he shouted as she turned around. Ryan's point of view. I was peacefully cutting some grasses for my cows as I heard a screeching voice of a dying cow. I turned around and was faced with the horror of my life. There was a guy running towards me, pointing something in my direction. It was probably a knife. I decided to save my life and then cut grass. So I ran, but the guy with flaring nose and red face kept on following me. Jungkook's point of view. Why are you running? Stop. I huffed and puffed as I ran behind the girl. Have to admit that she is fast. She ran towards a paddy field at a distance. As I reached at the edge of the field, I encountered something. A really tiny road called a bund. The girl in question ran over the bund, maintaining her speed. I couldn't miss her out, so I did what I could. I ran on the narrow bund. Wine's point of view. I heard the water splash. In a tiny space of moment, I looked over to the back, just to see the guy's head dug inside the paddy field. Holy Shakira, my paddy field! I ran back to the guy who had fell inside the rice field. You ruined everything, you idiot! The guy groaned, but I could care less. Do you know how much time it took for me and my dad to plant those rice plants? They were soon to be harvested. He slowly moved around in his place, showing me his ventral side, glad that I had no longer had to see his huge-ass butt pointing the sun. The guy twisted and turned in his place, splashing the mud and moving his hand like the flippers of a duck. Come out, you ugly duckling, you are ruining the surrounding crops too. For a split second, he glared at me. Do you think I'm not trying? He spoke in a funny muffled voice, spitting out the mud that had filled his mouth. Ryan stepped into the sides, leaving a small shriek, while slipping into the mud. Come on up. She held on to Jungkook's shirt and tried to pull him up. Not working, Miss Genius. She realized how his clothes were slippery and not the best way to pull him up. I guess I know how to get you out of there. She bent down once again. A painful scream left his mouth. Hey yo, what? She gripped on his hair, pulling his head from the mud. After his head was out of the mud, he was able to breathe the pure air. What a relief. Sniffing out some water out of his nose, Jungkook pushed his torso up from the mud with his arms. It worked. Ryan left his hair, walking slowly out of the mud victoriously. Jungkook pulled out of the field and climbed onto the tiny road on which she was standing. How dare you, woman? Do you have any idea how much did it cost me to set my hair like that? You have ruined my marriageability. At least it helped. I don't know what treatment you do on your hair. It is pretty weak. At this rate, you will go bald in a few years. That will definitely decrease your marriageability. Jungkook glared at her, disgusted. Don't look at me with that face. Are you getting intimidated by this handsome face? He ran his hair through his dirty hair. I'm not, but you will be. The property you've damaged, you have to compensate the owner of the land. Why should I? It's just a few useless plans. Useless? The mud-covered Jungkook placed his hand on his ears, hearing her shout. I get it. You are poor. But you have to pay something. I will talk to the owner of the land and maybe try and reduce the punishment. Jungkook chuckled, looking at the distance. He felt offended by her comment. Discount? You don't know me. I will pay the full amount of damage. Just take this. He took out his credit card from his pocket and forwarded it to Wyan. She looked at Jungkook with a smirk. We don't have credit card machines here. You can pay by working in the fields. What place is this? No charger, no credit card machine. Are you all living in the 50s? If you want a charger, then follow me. Jungkook's face brightened up, listening to her. You have it? Really? Oh my god, thank you. He followed the woman to her home, walking carefully on the barriers. Time skip. The entire farmhouse had noise alerting the return of Wyan. The chicken who were minding their own business ran to Wyan pecking her rubber sandals. A few cows walked away in disgust, watching a dirty thing that Wyan had brought into the premises. Jungkook was almost on his knees from walking so much. Your wait is over. We have reached my home. Finally, he looked up to see a traditional tiled roof house. What? Come on in. She walked ahead, opening the front door, revealing two people who were sipping on their tea. You came pretty late today. Sorry, something came up, Mom. Wyan sat on the wooden patio, removing her slippers while talking to her parents who were sitting inside. That is when her parents' eyes fell on a muddy Jungkook. What have you brought with you today? Seems like you caught a big fish. Yeah, this fish fell into our field and ruined some of our plans. I brought it here. They laughed as Jungkook scratched his neck while not knowing what to do. Wyan, you should show him the bathroom. Then he can join us for a tea. That sounds good, he mumbled. Wyan jumped off of the patio and motioned him to follow her to the bathroom. Finally, they were in front of a shed. Go on, wash yourself. The entire farm is smelling up because of you. Jungkook walked into the bathroom with a disgusted face. He had never been to such places. He looked around. There was hardly any space to move around. And in one corner, all he found was a bucket and cup. Wyan, are you there? Yeah, I'm still here, princess. What is your order? Jungkook rolled his eyes to her comments. Do you have, shower? A shower? Let me think. Can you think a little faster? The mud has dried on my body. You can come over to the garden. There is a perfect facility. I am sure Noran and Dincy won't mind having you there. Who are those ladies? Or piglets? I am going to water their place with a pipe. You can wash yourself under the shower in a large space. Ew, Wyan, you're really disgusting. He peeped out of the bathroom. Then shut up and wash up. I'm leaving. Jungkook reluctantly changed his clothes. He was feeling so naked, as if being looked upon. Once he was done washing himself and his dirty clothes, he realized that he doesn't have anything to wear. But to his relief, there was a knock on the door. It is me. I've brought you some clothes. Thank you. He grabbed it out of her hands. In a few seconds, he came out all dressed up. He twisted and turned a little as the clothes were a little tight for him. I'm sorry, these are my brother's clothes. It is the best clothes he has. No worries, thanks. How was the wash? Felt like I had no privacy. At least this is better than your cities, where you voluntarily curtail your own privacy, posting your personal info. They both walked back. On their way back, they hanged his wet clothes to dry. They soon reached Wayan's house. Her father was working on an old electric fan. Come on in, Jungkook. I was getting tired waiting for the two of you. Wayan jumped in. Remove the footwear before entering, city boy. She reminded him, which he followed. Jungkook crawled in as well. Did you give him the tour of our farm? I should show the both of you the damage he has done to our fields. Only I know what he's capable of in the farmland, so no. Don't bother him with that. Come on, join us. I'm really sorry for the damage. I will pay for it. Sure, I don't mind. By the way, you wanted to charge your phone? Yeah, here is my phone. He forwarded his switched off phone to her. She went in bringing the charger and placing the phone to get it powered. In the next few minutes, Jungkook connected with Wayan's parents. He found them very cool and open. Her parents found it amusing how he ended up in the village and how he met Wayan. Have you never been to the city, like for real? Me and Wayan's mother haven't been exposed to the pollutions, but Wayan has lived in the cities for her studies for almost 3 years. University? How did she find it there? I hated it. Most people are like you. Oh, don't be so rude to him, honey. He doesn't mind. People in the cities call themselves savage these days. Being called barbarian is some kind of trend, you know. Is it so, Jungkook? There was a huge reverb of footsteps inside the house. The member of the house knew who it was while Jungkook looked around panicking. Must be Dino. Dino? My brother, Taehyung. Jungkook breathed in relief as he nodded to her. Who is the guest? He barged into the living room with a white smile. Jungkook looked at him, waving his hand in tiny. Taehyung's eyes widened, looking at Jungkook. Oh, why are you wearing my favorite shirt? I gave it to him. Why do you always have to touch my stuffs? Why and don't enter my room? And how dare you give my favorite pink shirt to him? It won't smell like me anymore. I bought it from the city. I will buy you another one. Why so much drama? This is a cheap t-shirt. You can take my Louis Vuitton shirt. I don't want your stupid shirt. He walked away, pushing his bag on the floor. Taehyung, take your school bag from the living room. She followed her son. I am sorry for his behavior. He's a high schooler. It is his favorite shirt. I didn't mean to. I will remove it. Oh no, I will wash it for him later. The reaction was so uncalled for. I apologize. In a few seconds, Taehyung was back in the room with a puffed cheek and a huge pout while looking at Jungkook. He walked across and pulled out a football from the corner and jumped out. At least go after having some light snacks. No, I am angry. What happened, Mom? He's going to play without having lunch. Wayan sighed, tired of the show Taehyung was putting up in front of the guest. When I come back, you better wash my shirt, Wayan, and send back this Louis Vuitton Hyung bag from wherever he came from. If you date him, you won't have my blessing. I'm not. Taehyung disappeared from the place with his football. That kid won't listen to me anymore. It is all your fault, hey husband. Are you seeing your kid? Keep working on that broken fan. Don't listen to me at all. Wayan looked at Jungkook with an awkward smile, indicating that it is an everyday event. Jungkook reciprocated that awkward smile of Wayan. A few minutes later. So, why didn't you stay back in the town? Both Wayan and Jungkook were walking on a small walking bund between the paddy fields. Like I said, I didn't like the attitude of people. I went there to study and wanted to explore new places. But when I got there, I realized how much I loved it here. But don't you think that life is easier there, with the technology and all? I don't know. What ease does it make? Look at this place, clean air, fresh food, happy people. True that we don't have all the high-tech stuff here, but we don't need them. You would miss something only when you get used to that thing. Technology is for solving problems, so Some are, I appreciate them. But some of you people are trying to solve problems that were never there by creating more problems. What do you mean? Wine stopped on her tracks and looked back at him. Do you see that vast green field? She pointed to the distance and Jungkook followed her hands. That is the land of my uncle. 2 years back, there was a development plan to make a huge mall in that area. Convert that entire place into a multi-specialty mall. Isn't it good? Development comes following that. Development by converting a large productive land to a concrete building. Good. For whom? None of us buy from a mall, we can't afford it. And I don't think that people in the city would drive this long to reach the mall. Is the land taken over for development now? My uncle and some other villagers whose land were included in the plan went ahead and filed a complaint in Green Tribunal. The case is under trial. It has been 2 years and still no huge progress. My uncle will probably move out of here, trying to look for a job. Jungkook chuckled. There is already a huge unemployment. Where will he find a job? Thousands of people have been ousted from their place, occupation for such developmental activities. I don't know how they always want to lay their hands on productive private lands. Is that why you hated the city people? They are very heavy-headed. They want to cut down trees and farmlands and convert them into industries. Later, they complain about global warming, carbon footprint. Jungkook looked at the distance. After looking at the vast area of land which were under development agenda, he felt that it was a huge mistake and a blunder. But not everyone thought so. Time skip. Jungkook was standing with Wyan's father while he was feeding the hens. Jungkook found the lifestyle very amusing. Though technology was limited, the people were happy compared to the ones he knew back in the city. He agreed to Wyan when she said that many of the unhappiness of people in the towns and cities were caused by their lifestyle. Wyan's father was 51 but looked so happy. The way he always had a gentle smile on his face, crinkling the skin near his eyes and lips. They had a beautiful routine. They could start their mornings to the chirping of birds, walk with their naked feet in the sandy backyards, talk and connect with their neighbors at a deeper level. Wyan walked into Jungkook and her dad's peaceful, silent existence. There is a bus back to the city at 6 p.m. I have booked a seat for you. Jungkook nodded to her. Your clothes have dried up. Get ready before 5. I will drop you to the bus stop. Leave after the tea. Sure. Wyan had got his scooter ready. Jungkook was bidding goodbye to Wyan's parents. They soon got on the scooter and she started the engine and pressed the accelerator. The distance between them with the waving duo increased. Through the journey, Jungkook looked at the place he had walked, met her, and tried to register the pictures in his mind. Seems like you enjoy the time here. Am I wrong? She spoke through the sound of wind hitting them. You're not wrong. Let me just pull up. What happened? Wyan stopped the scooter near a huge playground. Get off! parked her scooter in front of a small bus stop. Jungkook got off from the vehicle, and she did the same. They moved into the shade of the bus stop waiting for the bus to arrive. So, Ryan looked at Jungkook, who was staring at the distant land with a smile plastered on his face. He looked at her. Did you enjoy the day? Very much. It was nothing like I expected. I hated it when Dad left me here, but now I'm not complaining because I saw a new side of life. She nodded in agreement, looking straight ahead. Would you ever come to the city? I have seen that life and didn't like it, but I'm considering. I don't know about earlier, but now you have a friend. You can contact me when you visit there. Sure, but will you ever come back here? Honestly speaking, I really want to come back. I have a reason to. He looked at Ryan smiling widely, who had a confused face. It's Norin and Dincy, isn't it? Those pigs have that kind of effect on visitors. Such charmers. Maybe. She wiggled her eyebrows teasingly. Soon, the bus to the city left, leaving Ryan alone in the bus stop. She waved at the bus at Jungkook, who was waving back until the bus disappeared into the horizon. It was almost 6:15 and the sky was dark. It is about to rain, it seems. She briefly looked up at the sky, estimating the weather. Putting on the helmet, she turned her scooter to head back. Sometimes you need a break from your routine life. It will give you a new perspective towards life and maybe freshness to the life. Somewhere far away. The 50-year-old man was running behind a hen trying to catch it. You are growing old very fast, John. Do you think that you are getting younger? At least I'm healthier than you. Do you want to find that out? Through a competition? Sure. Whoever catches that hen would win. He pointed at a particular hen. They both wasted no time and ran behind the scared bird.